Do you want to get fitter, stronger, and faster? Do you want to boost your performance while looking and feeling good? Do you want to get toned? All these things are possible with muscle, and there are several factors that you need to include in your diet to build muscle. Today, I'm going to share all these muscle building secrets with you so you can recover better, look and feel better, and be able to train harder so you can perform better. The best part is we're not going to do any crazy diets, and you can incorporate all these strategies in your diet with real food. And before you say it, building muscle for a female is not going to make you big and bulky. So let's just get that out of the way right now. If you're ready to become fitter, stronger, and faster, let's dive into today's episode. Do you wish you could look like you train as much as you do? Are you sick of scouring the internet for sports nutrition tips only to find information tailored to men? Do you wish there was a simple solution to fueling your body for your activity level? Are you ready to find freedom with food? It is possible to have balance between fueling your body for your sport and for enjoyment, and it's not as complicated as you may think. Can we say hello, food freedom? There's a way to have it all and eat your cake too, and I'm going to show you how. Hey, I'm Kristen, a former multi-sport athlete, a sports dietitian, personal trainer, and Jesus lover. In this podcast, you will find practical, sustainable fueling tips for female athletes that will set you free from diet culture, an ever-changing set of nutrition rules, under-fueling, and underperforming. You'll learn how to put together a fueling plan that works for you, that doesn't require all the rules, tracking every morsel of food you consume, letting food consume your every thought, with Jesus at the center of it all. If you're ready to find a sustainable nutrition plan that works for you with your active lifestyle and is tailored to your unique physiology, break free from diet culture, and finally feel comfortable in your own skin, this podcast is for you. Whip up that smoothie, lace up your shoes, and let's jump in. All right, welcome to today's episode. We are going to be talking all things about how to build muscle and what you can do now to incorporate into your diet to build muscle so that you can just get fitter, stronger, faster, get better at your sport, look and feel better. So the first thing that we're going to talk about, and you probably guessed it, is protein. So our bodies need protein because our bodies are constantly in a catabolic state, which means they're constantly being broken down. And protein is one of those things that is being broken down, so we need to replace it, especially if you are active. And so one of the main things that we are after with protein when we are looking to build muscle is leucine. So leucine is one of the amino acids that we need to take in every day. And if you are looking to build muscle, you should aim for about 2 to 3 grams of leucine per meal. And that can be achieved by including high sources of leucine, especially within a short window after strength training workouts. So that amount is considered best for stimulating muscle protein synthesis, which is just a fancy way of saying building muscle. So real food sources of this are eggs, red meat, poultry, whey protein, or just dairy. And of course, you can get in a protein shake, whey protein being your best option, or you can take in some branched chain amino acids or a BCAA supplement. However, you aren't going to be able to get all of those 2 to 3 grams from a branched chain amino acid supplement, but it would help to increase the amount that you're taking. So if you don't like to eat after a workout, this would be a great time to get in a protein shake, particularly whey. Whey is going to be the most readily absorbed, and it is kind of the gold standard in terms of protein, and it's going to be high in leucine, which is going to help you with building muscle, especially if you're taking that in shortly after a workout. And as a female athlete, you really want to make sure that you are taking in your post-workout snack ideally within 30 minutes of finishing working out. That is when your muscles are most like a sponge, and it's going to help you to build muscle or stimulate that muscle protein synthesis. Now, if you are a vegan, you can try VegaSport or VegaSport. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but that is a vegan protein powder, and that actually does contain the correct amount of leucine so that you can stimulate that muscle protein synthesis. I personally tried VegaSport. I think it's a pretty decent protein powder. I've also used Thorne's protein powder, whey protein that is, and I do like that. So I will drop those links down below in the show notes for you. Second up is eating enough calories. You need to eat calories to provide energy just to exercise for one, but also to repair and rebuild muscle after exercise, which is also known as recovery. So without enough calories, you can't build muscle, and muscle equals power. So we need to make sure that we are fueling our bodies adequately so that it can do what it is trying to do. And most females need at least 2,000 to 2,400 calories a day just to maintain. So if you're trying to build muscle, you actually need to eat in a surplus. Now, 2,000 to 2,400 calories might sound like a lot of food, but it really actually isn't that much food. And if you really want to get a little more specific, you can calculate what your minimum calories should be over the course of the day by taking your weight in pounds, divide that by 2.2 to convert it into kilograms, and multiply that by 45. Now, that would give you the amount of calories that you would need per kilogram of fat-free mass. You would need to know what your body fat percentage is. So basically, you take your weight in pounds, subtract your body fat in pounds, and then you take that number divided by 2.2 to get kilograms, multiplied it by 45. So that's your minimum amount of calories that you need to take in over the course of the day. And then you would actually need to add more calories to build muscle. So I would suggest starting with about 300 calories a day in excess, and then you can work your way up from there if it's not enough. Of course, if this is something that you need help with, reach out. This is what I do all day long, is I help people figure out what they need to be taking in. So you can head on over to my website, elitenutritionandperformance.com/consult, schedule a free consultation with me and say, hey, Kristen, I'm struggling with building muscle. How do I know how much calories and grams of protein and all that I need to eat? And I will help to figure that out for you. All right, number 3 is carbohydrates. And you might be thinking, what? Carbohydrates? I need carbohydrates to build muscle? But you actually do, because carbohydrates are what we call muscle sparing. So your body, if it's not getting enough carbohydrates, will actually use your own muscle mass and break that down and convert it into glucose, which is the simplest form of carbohydrates. You need carbohydrates to give your body energy and fuel. And so if you're not getting enough of it, your body's going to figure out a way to get enough of it, but at the detriment of your muscles. So also, carbohydrates get stored in your muscles as glycogen. That's the storage form of carbohydrates. So if you're not eating enough carbohydrates, your body's not going to store the glycogen, and that helps with energy during exercise and also provides a fuel source for your muscles during exercise instead of just your own muscle mass. So you need to make sure that you're eating enough carbohydrates over the course of the day. And what that looks like for a female athlete is between 6 and 10 grams per kilogram of body weight. So again, if you take your total weight divided by 2.2, that's your weight in kilograms, and then you would multiply it by 6 to 10 grams. Anywhere in that range. That's a big range, but again, if you need help figuring out specifics, that's where you want to reach out to me and I can help you with that. So again, just go to my website, elitenutritionandperformance.com/consult. You can schedule a free consultation with me. We'll talk about, where you are with everything, what your goals are, what you're struggling with, and then from there, I can tell you how I can help you, and then we can kind of get going on your plan. All right, number 4 is creatine. And this is another one where you might be thinking, what in the world, creatine? But creatine is actually been shown to increase strength, power, and athletic performance in females. And it's also good for your brain health and your mood. Creatine has actually been shown to help with females or just people in general that are struggling with depression, believe it or not. But it certainly helps with building muscle. So creatine is a naturally occurring substance found in your muscle cells that actually help them to produce energy, especially during high intensity exercise, as well as when you're lifting weights. If you have enough stores within your muscles, then you can actually train more intensely and you can build more muscle. So you are stronger and then you have more power and you also get more gains from your workouts. So we want to make sure that you are taking in enough creatine. And creatine you can take obviously by a supplement, but you can also get it in with food. So let me just give you a quick statistic on creatine. So this is from Strength and Conditioning Journal. It found that females had a greater relative performance improvement over males with creatine. So males experienced about a 6% increase in performance with taking in creatine or making sure that they're getting enough creatine over the course of the day, whereas females got a increase of about 15% in their performance. That's more than double from males to females, which is crazy. So it's really important that we are getting in enough creatine. And like I said, you can get in creatine from a supplement, which is actually generally recognized as safe. It's one of the more safer supplements on the market and more effective. I'm not going to say every creatine supplement on the market is going to be safe or effective because, you know, we don't know every possible creatine supplier that is out there, but I can give you a couple recommendations. So I recommend Thorne brand. You'll probably hear me say Thorne a lot because I really like their products. I trust their products. They do a lot of testing to make sure that their supplements contain what they're supposed to and not what they're not supposed to. A lot of them are NSF certified for sport. If they're not certified for sport, they're definitely all NSF certified. And so they're just high quality supplements. That's personally what I use. So creatine from Thorne is going to be creatine monohydrate. And creatine monohydrate is the best. However, if it's causing some stomach upset for you, which it can for some people, then I would suggest switching to Creapure. And that can be a little more gentle on your stomach. So if you're noticing, you know, bloat and gas and that type of thing, then you could switch to Creapure. So a good brand for that would be Momentous Creatine, and I will drop the links below for these two. So for creatine, you need 2 to 5 grams per day, and you don't have to take a supplement. You can actually just eat food sources of creatine, and those include any type of meat or fish. And non-meat sources don't contain creatine, but they do provide other amino acids that do help to create creatine in your body. You'll just have to eat a lot more of them if you are vegetarian or vegan. But as long as you are eating enough meat or fish over the course of the day, then you're fine. You'll be getting in enough creatine. But you want to make sure that you're getting in enough. And that kind of goes back to number 1 of getting in enough protein over the course of the day. All right, the last one, number 5, is zinc. So zinc actually helps to prevent the enzyme that converts testosterone to estrogen in women. And testosterone is responsible for building muscle. And so if we are deficient in zinc, then we're going to have a problem where we don't have enough testosterone in our body. And so you're not going to be building muscle as easily. Now, if you're not deficient in zinc, taking an additional zinc source or supplement is not going to help you. But if you are like the 7 to 10% of the US population who are severely deficient in zinc, or the 15% of 19-year-olds and older who take in less than the ideal amount, then you want to make sure that you are upping your zinc intake. And especially women of reproductive age, this is really important because of menstruation. You are more likely to become deficient in zinc because of menstruation. So zinc is also going to help with recovery from your workouts and boost your immune system. So it's really important to get in regardless of if you're trying to build muscle or not. So before you reach for a supplement, you want to make sure that you're getting good food sources of zinc. And that would include red meat, dark meat, poultry, oysters, eggs, pumpkin seeds, cheese, lentils, beans, and chickpeas. So any of those options would be great, and you want to make sure that you're getting in a good mix of those options over the course of the day. Now, if, like I said, you feel like you have this information, but you really don't know how to put it all together for yourself or how it applies to you, how, you don't know how many grams of protein you should be taking in or how many grams of carbohydrates, that is where reaching out to me would be a great benefit for you. So as I mentioned, head on over to my website, elitenutritionandperformance.com/consult. What we could do is talk about what your goals are, where you're struggling, and then from there, I can tell you, how I can help you, and then we can get you started on a plan. And what I do is I actually put together a personalized nutrition plan for you, and I teach you exactly what you need to be taking in when, and I figure out the exact numbers for you so that you can put all those pieces together. So head on over to my website, elitenutritionandperformance.com/consult, and book yourself a free call. Hey friend, if this podcast inspired you, encouraged you, or changed you, I would love for you to leave me a review and share it with a girlfriend who will find it helpful or inspiring. That is the best way you can thank me and help me share my knowledge so I can help more people just like you. I'm so thankful that you spent this time with me today, and I'd love to connect with you. Join my Facebook group, Female Sports Nutrition, or send me a DM on Instagram, or hop on over to my website, elitenutritionperformance.com. I'll see you back here next week.